that'll be, I guess, a challenge for your defense, considering it's different than what you faced the last 2 games.
I would put in quarterback power if I was Pat Shermer. See if they can execute it and see if they can outblock us. See if Caden will hit it up in there. I think Caden's I went back and watched all his Liberty stuff over the last couple of years because James Chadwell did a great job, and then Hugh Freeze did a great job with him and what they were able to do, and the different looks and different things that they can go to with him and what he's able to execute. And then if Staub plays, you've got some different problems there because he's freaking came in the second half, and you saw a spark. They did some different things with him. So I think the challenge of which one's it going to be, and then are we going to choose violence or are we not going to choose violence? Because they're bigger than Iowa State up front. They're gigantic. They're 2 tackles. 6'7", 350. They're athletic. They're big. So Coach Sanders has done a great job recruiting talent. So and I think they'll be a very competitive bunch by nature because of his personality and Warren Staff's personality and everybody that's on that staff. They'll come out and fight and they'll have a plan. So go back and watch. I'm a big boxing guy. Okay, Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward series. Those guys fought for no money, but those are the greatest fights ever. They just beat the crap out of each other for 30 rounds. That's freaking awesome. So let's do that Saturday in Boulder.
Michael and Troy.
Utah blitzed Colorado a lot in that game. Dion was saying even in post-game presser, they're still blitzing us even as I speak. So it would seem logical that you should blitz as well. But I'm guessing it's not that simple, right? You can't just be because it worked for them, we're just going to do the exact same thing because they'll try to counter it.
For sure. I think Dion said it in the post-game stuff. You gave them the blueprint. Well, yes and no. The things that Utah did that were successful, Utah chose violence. And Colorado didn't respond right away. And it was 40-0 before you blinked your eyes. And now you get up to the point of now you're just challenging them as people. Are you competitive or not? And I thought they came out and fought their ass off in the second half. That they had outscored them at one point in the second half. So he's a competitive group, and he's been successful everywhere he's been. His statement, he hadn't been beaten like that since his mama. That's fantastic because he probably wrong. Look at all the success he's had. And when I was with Herm, I got an opportunity to meet Dion. And as a little kid, I was a huge Dion fan. Seth Dagy walking around in the Dion jersey. I want to see a picture of that. I'm going to ask Abby because that's freaking awesome with the bandana on. Yes. Because Dion was, he was smart and he was an unbelievable football player. So that's the same personality that his teams carry.
Troy and then David.
Just the challenges of not only playing Colorado, but playing in Boulder, high altitude, in that type of environment and that atmosphere there.
The atmosphere will be outstanding because they're right on top of you. I'm a little disappointed that they went to turf and not grass. I love natural grass, but they have turf now for the first time since I think 1998. Altitude. So I was born and raised in Albuquerque. I have an opinion on that. There's a great Jerry Tarkarian story, way back in the day. Altitude when you're getting your tail whooped, is a big deal. When you're not getting your tail whooped, nobody knows about it. When you're getting your ass kicked, you're over there on that side and you see guys with oxygen and stuff like that. And when you're getting after them, nobody thinks about it. Back in the day, UNLV, the football players came back from Wyoming. And Wyoming's 7,200 feet, so that's a little bit different monster than the mile high that Boulder and Albuquerque are, which still doesn't really make a significant difference. But they came back and they're Coach, the football players were complaining about the altitude on stuff and how hard it was to breathe. And Coach Tarkanian was well, they play outside. We're inside. Don't worry about it. This stuff doesn't matter. So, genius. And UNLV went up there and smacked Wyoming, so you're probably right. But I don't play it into that. So they'll have the thing that they'll have a solar crowd. It'll be a great atmosphere, and the one that punches in the face the hardest, the fastest is going to be the one that sustains success.
David and Justin.
Coach, I know a couple weeks ago you talked about how the safeties play into the run game. But there seems like there's a lot of instances where when that ball carrier hits the line of scrimmage, your second level is almost 5 yards away. How do you rectify that when you've got a running back who, if he hits the line and he's not going to have contact for 5 yards, he's going to get 5 to 8 every single time?
I wish we had more time. I would love to sit down with you, David, and then we can watch an entire game, and I can show you how full of crap you are. I mean, and that's not being mean. That's being. It appears that way at times, and that's how we want it to appear. When you see running backs cutting, and I wasn't being disrespectful to you. Let's have fun. When a guy cuts in the backfield, we're winning. When they're 5 yards downfield, like you said, making cuts, where there were a couple times on that Saturday, we're not. And so the different things that we do up front make it really hard for a running back to see where the hole's going to be and how they're going to cut. Now, we depending on which one, whether it's Dalton, Jen, in the Houston game, our middle linebacker was a true linebacker, probably 85% of the time. They weren't down in there because of some of the different things we were doing with the three-man front. So the biggest answer to your question is the best success we have is when the running backs are cutting in the backfield because of the different things we're doing up front. We want it to appear like they've got that window, and then all of a sudden that window's gone because the D lineman's coming down that window, because the linebacker's stunting through that window, or at times a safety is stunting through that window, and then the bear shows up. He is going to be, you said 5, most of the time he's at 7. And if they read it right with the direction of it, we expect those guys to make tackles for 1 or 2 yard gains. And the majority of, like if you go through the Cell Scout stuff, 2nd and 7 is really easy to call defenses. 2nd and 6 to 2nd and 5 becomes really difficult. And so to your point, and yes, 5 yards, 2nd and 5 sucks. We have had a great, I mean, we're 15th in the country on first down defense because we don't give up a ton. We're like 4th on 2nd and long because we've been able to, 1, either make incomplete passes because our secondary is so efficient, or 2, we've been good on first down run. We had been really good on 3rd down until BYU. And then the last 2 weeks, we haven't been. We haven't been good enough. I think we're 30%, which is good for like 30th in the country. We were 10th. We need to get back to being that. And the only way that happens, to your credit, is the safeties can't be making tackles at 5 yards. They got to make them at 2 to 3 yards. But we want it to appear like that because when you're identifying whether the middle linebacker is going to be a linebacker or a safety dropping in, that makes it really hard schematically for the offense. And then Jen and Dalton have to make those tackles for 2 yard gains. If they don't, it's really hard to call defense.
And real quick, just when that first touchdown run by Wegman, it looked like they literally had everybody blocked on that play. How did you see that? And I know there are plays like that where you just say, you got to tip your cap because they blocked this particular defense really well.
You're talking about the 10-yard run, quarterback power to the right, down in the red zone before halftime. I mean, they're just taking touchdown. Dalton comes up. He's got a good fit. He fits it where he's supposed to. The linebacker coming through the middle. He takes an inside alley as opposed to outside where he's spilling it to guy because the guy he spilled it to came over the top. He gets them blocked by Tay's guy because the first linebacker didn't mill it the wrong way. That's very seldom are we in a run fit like that. And then we have that should have been a 3 yard gain, not a touchdown. So we have one guy get blocked by taking a wrong block on, and then we have a DB miss a tackle in space. So does it look like everyone's blocked? We had 2 unblocked. You got to make plays when you have 2 unblocked. One blocked ourselves, and the other one's got to make a play.
Justin and Jason.
Why do you think Deshaun McKnight has thrived in his role this season?
Because he's super powerful and he's super twitchy, and he's bought into Coach Joe and Coach Palmer and what we do schematically. He's 298 pounds. At UT Martin, and I think I take great pride in evaluation skills. Like I think the greatest of coaches are great evaluators because if players aren't good enough, you're not going to win. Deshaun McKnight was a 4-eye at UT Martin. He held a gap. He stayed in there. He was a big body, not a lot of movement, not a lot of what we do schematically, but you could see instances on tape of how powerful he was. And against UT Martin, they played Kansas State last year, and he was dominant in that game. And so those are the people we're going to play against. And he was dominant, and you could see some twitch in his step. So now I'm like licking my chops because I'm like, okay, we've identified one that can play. And relationship becomes a big piece. and it's really hard on the speed dating piece to the transfer portal. Because I went heavy on Deshaun McKnight for 3 days, talking to his dad, Travis, talking to mom, talking to Jalasia, his girlfriend, fiance. And then he gets on the plane and he comes here, and Oklahoma's telling him, like, cancel that trip and come over here. I'm like, okay, they found one too. And we did a great job with the relationship over the weekend. He committed and he stayed, and he's flourished from here. And he's powerful and twitchy enough to have a chance to get into a camp at that level. And if he has the right mindset, he's talented enough because he's so powerful and twitchy. And he's bottom of the weight room. I mean, he's a 360-pound power cleaner. He's a freak in there. And then his relationship skills. He's a people person. You saw he went through and shook everybody's hand. He's going to be a successful human being because of what mom and dad and the upbringing he's had, and then how we've been able to develop him football-wise in this program.
Jason and Michael?
Are you preparing for two different quarterbacks, and if so, how would that maybe change preparation or approach?
Yes, because I don't know. They might both play. He might stick with one. Luckily, not significant difference in what they do schematically. Obviously, Caden Salters I think he's really fast, linearly, and will try and outrun you, can get to the edge and do some of those things with the zone read keep and all those. They ran a little bit of quarterback power early. Staub, the ball gets out of his hand really quick, really precise thrower, but he can run and get you with his feet. So they don't call significantly different plays, which is a positive, but their demeanor and the way the kids react around them. So you do have to prepare for both. Like I said, you got to throw the Utah game out like we haven't done. It's not even in our breakdowns. I've watched it 100 times because I think Morgan Scalley's really good and he's a friend of mine. That I think they do some unique things that you can copycat and steal because we're all copycat and thieves. But we'll have an answer for there. We're actually quarterback. We look BFF. We blitz like 90% of the time. So if we blitz them, it's not a surprise, and we shouldn't be anything off guard.
We'll finish up with Michael and then Troy.
Two questions. The first one of the things I heard a lot on social media from fans during the Houston game especially was, why don't you just put more defensive linemen on the field if you know that teams are going to be running these power schemes?
Really good question and observation. There was times, and I don't know, you can go through PFF, and you can, any Wildcat fan can pay for PFF, which is awesome, give them more money. Maybe I'll start a deal that you can give me the money, and then we can put that into our NIL and revenue share, and I'll tell you the exact same information. The idea, like some of those things, I saw my wife ask me the question too, because she listens to you guys on Twitter and all those good things. Why are you trying to stop this with a 3-man front? Well, in our 3-man front, the stuff that we were doing against quarterback power, they weren't having success. It was a pop here or there in some of the other stuff on third down or on those third that we talk about. We had 5 D linemen in there at times. We had 4 D linemen in there at times throughout the game. We had 3 D linemen in there at times. Chase and Riley are as effective up front in the box as Dom, Mays, and those guys with some of the things that we do. When it looked like we had 3 D linemen lined up in the one over the center and then the 2 A gaps, we're actually blitzing 4 other guys who are sending 7-man pressure, which is probably more effective than a 50-man front in some of the things we do. Now we've switched up all year long with the different fronts we're doing. The one that gutted me on the 8th series, the last drive, you got to choose violence and execute because we should have got off the field twice, and that's on me.
Finish up with Troy.
Go ahead. We're good. Brett.
Genesis Smith, according to your favorite website, PFF, is tied for the team lead in missed tackles, and
Yep.
most of those have been in recent games. What have you observed about angles that he's taking or aggressiveness that he's showing or not showing? What do you think is behind that?
Been significant in the last 3 games, and Jen is harder on himself than anybody, and so I think you'll see a different monster on Saturday. And the coaching aspect of that, if you look at our cumulative stats, he's our leading tackler. He's left a bunch out there, that are the difference between getting off the field, not getting off the field, winning and losing, and enhancing his opportunity to be a high pick. I mean, the Mel Kiper list came out, he was the 8th best safety. He's better than that, but he's got to prove it. And so he's got 5 weeks to prove it. I think you'll see a different monster on Saturday.
All right, I will finish up with Troy.
Over the last 2 games, obviously everybody's talking about the rush defense, but pass rush, I think 1 sack in the last 2 games. I know the numbers wise, when somebody else is running, it's kind of hard to get back there, but what are you seeing from the pass rush? What has been going on there that's limited them in the last 2 games?
The quarterbacks have been elite getting the ball out of their hands. And like you said, I mean, when you're having success running it, you don't throw it as many times. You can't throw it and get the things that you want out of it. And we've had an elite pass rush with 4, which has been really awesome because you can do some really good things when you have 7 guys to do some coverage things with. Chase Kennedy, Deshaun, Tia, those guys have been getting in the backfield so fast, and then when we blitz, they're hitting home. They're just throwing the ball away before we can get to the quarterback. And there's some things that you can do zone blitz wise that'll make the quarterback hold the ball a little bit. But I don't know if it's going to change the status of how many sacks. I mean, we're still, I think, 4th in the country in tackles for loss because of a big portion of that. I mean, the rush defense, and we will solve. If it's the last thing I do as the defensive coordinator, like them running that stupid frickin' play, like, yeah, bring it, Colorado. Bring quarterback power, and then we can talk about it after, because that's been the challenge. I mean, you've heard that more. Our kids have heard that more over the last 2 weeks than they probably want to. Like, you heard Deshaun up here, and he had that smirk when he asked him about me. Like, yeah, I don't sugarcoat, and well, the only thing, I mean, and it does good to sit up here and talk about it. You have to go out there and prove it and play it. So over the next 5 weeks, we're going to play some really good quarterbacks you have to give credit, like even more credit to Coach Tataki and Coach Roderick, Coach Legel, and Coach Fritz, because you have to be willing to run that guy and willing to get him beaten up and beat the crap out of him and take chances of getting him hurt, which can be very, I mean, if they lose Connor Wigman at Houston, they're a little bit different. And if they lose Bear Bachmeyer, they're probably different. But those guys are tough suckers now. I have a great admiration for both of them, because I thought we hit Connor early pretty good, and he didn't bat an eye. And then I saw ASU hit him early, and he didn't bat an eye. And so give that young man credit, because when I was at New Mexico, we beat the crap out of him at Texas A&M. Like, we hit him 5 or 6 times really good, and the sucker kept getting up. So I knew he was a tough guy. They didn't run quarterback power at A&M, so I didn't see him doing that. It was more scrambling and sitting back in the pocket. And I have great respect for him. He earned it. I mean, that's why they're 6-1 or 7-1, whatever. They're 7-1. God, I hate losing. God, so we will win in this program. I think continuity is a huge deal. Buy in, Wildcat Nation. Buy in. Like, as frustrated and mad as you are, and as much as everybody wants to burn the village, I swear it's because they care and they have passion. And like, that's when you capture the magic of a 10-win season, like in 23 or in 98 or in 93, like, it feels so freaking good around here. It's like the basketball team winning the national championship in 97. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, having a chance to beat Duke in the Sweet 16 last year, like, that magic and that feeling, like, we're going to capture it and make it where you can sustain it. And I think the way to sustain it in today's age is you have to take 18 to 20 freshmen, fill holes with the transfer portal, develop those 18 to 20 with guys that actually can develop, and then you have an opportunity in this league, because the league is the same, minus Texas Tech, who spent like $1 billion. And guess what? Houston had a chance to beat them if they don't turn the ball over 3 times. ASU beats them. Like, the parity in this league is unbelievable. It's awesome. And so if you develop those pieces, you can have sustained success with the continuity, if you have the right pieces and the right coaches. And no, I'm arrogant. I believe in what I do and what we do on defense, and I believe in our staff. And I think Coach B has done a phenomenal job of putting those pieces together and being Coach B's going to win a bunch of games around here, and I freaking hate losing, so we'll solve it.
Thank you.